Hello, boys and girls. We are going to keep going with topic 16. This is a longer topic, and we are going to continue to look at measuring angles today, okay? So yesterday, we focused on using those protractors to help us find the measures of angles. Today, we're going to use our knowledge of angles that already exist to help us find the missing angles. And this will make more sense in just a minute when I show you our first example. I'm going to switch to our purple here. So we know how to use those protractors. They're a very handy tool, but sometimes you might not have a protractor and they might give you some information and you have to use it to find missing information. Think of it as a word problem. When a word problem is presented to you, that word problem gives you information that you need to use to find a piece of missing information, whether you need to add to get a total or whether you need to subtract to find what's left, or multiply or divide. Same thing, what we're going to do with the angles today is exactly that. They're going to give us some information, and you are going to need to use that information to help you find some of those missing angles, whether you need to add or subtract to find them. So I have a larger picture here of an angle, but that same angle is over here. And yes, I know it gives us the two angle measures already, but we're going to be using those in a couple different ways. So let's start here at this angle here to begin with. If I wanted to know what this entire angle measured, remember we label it like this, angle A, B, C. If I wanted to know what that angle was and I didn't have a protractor, but I see that I have this other angle in here that creates two, or this other ray, sorry, that creates two more angles, but they give us those angle measures, I could use those to add together to get my total. So I could do 30 degrees plus 60 degrees, and we would get 90 degrees. Okay, so we would know that this whole angle here is equal to 90 degrees because they gave us two other angle measures to get that total. Now let's jump over back to this one now that's not labeled. Let's say I only gave you 60 degrees here. If you look closely, we have our little corner square. And if you remember from the last few lessons, that little corner means that we have a 90-degree angle. So if I asked you and said, this could be a question, I could say, okay, could you find the measure of angle A, B, E? And that's referring to this angle right here. Okay, I'm asking you to find this angle right here in green. Okay, so I could say, knowing that this entire angle ABC is 90 degrees, you have an angle of 60 degrees, I could say, how do you find the measure of angle ABE? Well, because you have a total angle to start with, you have a part of an angle, and you want to find that missing piece, we could subtract. And when you subtract, you get 30 degrees. This would work the other way too. So I'm going to clear some of this off so that it's not so mumble jumbled. Okay. Let's say I gave you this. Let's say I gave you angle ABE was 30 degrees. Okay. And you know the angle ABC. Okay, I'm going to outline next to the green that this angle is 90 degrees. So I could be asking you to find the measure of angle A or EBC. Okay, that's what we need to find. So we know that and I could even draw a picture if we wanted, we know that our total is 90 degrees, okay? Our one part is 30 degrees, and we don't know our missing part. This ties way back into the beginning of the year. If I have a part and a whole, or a total, I need to find my other part. That means we need to subtract. So I have my 90-degree angle. I'm going to subtract my 30-degree angle to find that missing piece. And we end up with 60 degrees. Okay? So all you're doing is using your knowledge of angles and finding those missing parts. And that's what you'll be doing on one of your practice problems tonight, is finding that missing angle measurement. Let's take a look at our next slide here. So what if we didn't have just a regular old angle and I had some triangles here? Okay, I'm going to number these because I know they're a little hard to see. Okay, a triangle is always going to be equal to a total of 180 degrees. Just like our circles are always going to be equal to 360 degrees, okay? Because it's a full circle. What this means is that these three angles in a triangle will always add up to 180 degrees. So thinking about our last slide, when you had that 90-degree angle and it gave you one and you had to find the other, you knew that this angle here was 90 degrees. It always has to be 90 degrees. So if we know that 1, 2, and 3 need to add up to 180 degrees, we can use what we know. So I'm going to draw our picture for us. We know that that whole triangle needs to be 180 degrees. I have an angle that's 30. I have an angle that's 60. And we do not know that missing angle. So what we could do, take our two parts, 30 and 60, add them together to get 90. I still need to find this missing part right here. So I could do 180 minus 90. I'm going to give you a chance to go ahead and make that guess. Regroup. And we get 90 degrees. So this missing angle here would be 90 degrees. Same concept down in this bottom one. Okay, I know that this whole triangle needs to be 180 degrees. There's my total. I have a 65-degree angle, I have a 45-degree angle, and I have a missing angle. So I could start by putting these two parts together to find out what I have so far. So right now, so far, I have 110 degrees between these two angles. So I need to find what's left for this angle up here. So that's where I would come over and say, okay, well, I have my 180 degrees that I have to work with. I'm going to take away my 110. And I am left with a 70-degree angle. So that is what you're going to be working on in your practice problems today, is using what we remember about circles and triangles and 90-degree angles, and being able to use those parts and knowledges to be able to find some of those missing pieces in some of our angles. Okay, so if you need to come back to watch any parts to see what we did to find those missing angles, please feel free while you're working on your practice problems tonight. All right, thank you, boys and girls.